So, what if I told you that one of the greatest empires in history wasn't born from some epic battle or a royal proclamation, but from a single, deeply personal insult? Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of how one man's vow of vengeance ended up forging an empire and literally changing the course of ancient India forever. All right, our story kicks off at a moment of extreme danger. You see, ancient India isn't one unified nation at this point. It's more like a patchwork of kingdoms, totally fractured and standing right on the brink of chaos. A massive power vacuum has just opened up, and you better believe foreign invaders are already knocking at the door. So, to really get the weight of this moment, we have to look at the two huge threats facing the land. There's one coming from the outside, and then there's another one that's just rotting the kingdom from the inside out. Okay, so the year is 323 BC. The legendary, brutal battle between King Puru and Alexander the Great is over. But here's the thing. It left both of these giants off the stage. This creates this incredibly dangerous void. And who steps into that void? None other than Alexander's top general, Seleucus. And he's come back with one thing on his mind: finishing what Alexander started and conquering India. With this invasion looming, there's really only one power strong enough to unite all the smaller states and actually defend the homeland: the kingdom of Magadha. But its ruler, King Dhananand, is a whole other kind of problem. And this quote, wow, it tells you everything you need to know about this guy. Every single day, he starts with this ritual to remind himself of his family's roots as barbers. But don't be mistaken, this has nothing to do with humility. Oh no, it is pure arrogance. It's his daily reminder that he, once from a lower caste, now has everyone, kings, scholars, you name it, bowing down before him. You can just hear the cynicism here, right? To him, people are as disposable as hair. You just cut them away. But ideas like Peru's dream of a united India, those are like the roots, and they're dangerous. He knows that dream is still alive and kicking, and he is absolutely determined to stamp it out for good. And his rule is just as cruel. He's taxing his people into the ground. But look closely, there's a twisted strategy at play. He hammers the poor with impossible interest rates, basically crushing them, while he gives the rich a slightly better deal. Why would he do that? Well, as his own minister points out, it's the poor who start rebellions. So Dhananand's entire policy is designed to keep them too broken and too desperate to even think about fighting back. So into this absolute mess of a kingdom walks a man with a desperate, maybe even crazy plan. He truly believes he can save India from both of these threats, and that he can somehow reason with the completely unreasonable King Dhananand. And this is our guy, Acharya Chanakya, also known as Vishnugupta. He is a legendary teacher from the most prestigious university of its time, Takshashila. Now, he's not a king, he's not a warrior, he's a scholar, but he is a brilliant strategist who sees the big picture with a terrifying clarity. Chanakya's mission is, let's be honest, almost impossible. He's traveling all the way to Magadha to try and convince this tyrant, Dhananand, to unite the kingdoms against Seleucus. He knows the king is a terrible person, but he believes the very survival of India is on the line. And for that chance, he's willing to sacrifice absolutely everything, even his own honor. And as he's making this journey, he reflects on this powerful truth. Arrogance ultimately always destroys itself. And this is some major foreshadowing, by the way. He's basically predicting that a Chandra, which means the moon, is going to rise and eclipse the arrogant sun, Dhananand. And you're not going to believe this? Just as Chanakya is walking towards his destiny at the king's court, fate gives us a quick glimpse of another key player, the very Chandra he was just talking about. So, we meet this young man, Chandragupta. But he's not a prince living in some fancy palace or a soldier on a battlefield. Nope. He's a clever, super charismatic rogue, just living by his wits out on the streets. And to get a sense of who he is, just check out this brilliant four-step con he pulls on a local cheapskate. First, the setup. He pretends to be a god talking to the guy. Second, the proof. He uses some slick sleight of hand to make a coin vanish into thin air. Third, the demand. He requires an offering for a prosperous future. And finally, the escape. A perfectly executed distraction. You see, this isn't just about stealing. It shows he's smart, resourceful, and a total natural leader. And during the chase that follows, he somehow manages to flip the script on his pursuers, making them look like the criminals. As he puts it, the only real thief is the one who actually gets caught. This isn't just a robbery, it's his strategic mind in action. And just like that, the stage is set. You have the wise scholar and the cunning rogue, and they are on a collision course. Their destinies are about to be tangled together forever because of the actions of one arrogant king. So let's get back to Chanakya, now at the court of Magadha. As Chanakya arrives, he's stopped by the king's prime minister, a man named Amatya Rakshas. He gives Chanakya one last chance to turn back, warning him that this path only leads to disaster. But Chanakya, he's unshakable. He has a duty to his country, and nothing is going to stop him. Inside, the atmosphere is just ice cold. Dhananand greets the great scholar not with any respect, but with sarcasm literally dripping from every word. He pretends he doesn't even know who Chanakya is and turns his arrival into a big joke for the whole court, just humiliating this renowned teacher from the second he walks in. So this is it. This is the ultimate showdown, right? You have Chanakya, who is driven by this pure, unwavering sense of duty to his nation, and he is facing off against Dhananand, a man wrapped in absolute power and untouchable arrogance. You just know something has to break. And then comes the final, calculated insult. Dhananand offers Chanakya the seat of honor, right in the center of the court. But listen, this isn't a gesture of respect. It's a trap. He is putting Chanakya on a stage to make him the main attraction of the court's mockery, even telling everyone that it's going to be very interesting and entertaining. After being physically thrown out of the court, the guards add one final, crushing insult. They untie Chanakya's shika, his secret lock of hair. For a Brahmin scholar, this is a profound violation. And that is the final straw. Chanakya gets to his feet and makes a vow that will echo through history. He swears that he will not retie his hair until he has personally uprooted Dhananand from his throne and put a worthy ruler in his place. This is the moment that changes everything. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. A scholar's humiliation has just become the spark for a revolution. And it leaves us with this incredible question. Can one man's righteous anger, his powerful vow, can that really be enough to find a future king, to challenge a tyrant, and to build one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen?